Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial, and today I'm going to highlight the news that came out this afternoon where we highlight Cathie Wood's Ark Investment files to start new Transparency ETF. So Ark is very famous for their innovative, disruptive-based type of exchange-traded funds or ETFs. Cathie Woods has become somewhat of a star over the course of the past 18 months as her funds continue to perform incredibly well on some of this technology that has continued to be bolstered during the stay-at-home phase, the data side, robotics, and whatnot. So there's a lot going for her investments at this point in time, and she is definitely looking to capitalize on this by starting a new Transparency ETF. As you can see here, they are essentially going to be running about 100 companies that are basically receiving these high scores by Transparency LLC, which is a company that I'm not familiar with, that essentially is going to be running the fund and highlighting that these companies are quote-unquote good citizens. These companies that are involved will not be included have alcohol, banking, fossil fuel transportation, gambling, and tobacco. So those will not be included. And this is not a new concept. So there are a number of actively traded funds that are, quote, ESG or clean. So Ark is seeking to get involved as well. This will be going through the process of raising a lot of money. People will have the capability to put a lot of money into the fund, at which point they will be able to go out and make moves using that money, similar to what they do today. Before we hop on board, I think that this fund will have a lot of excitement associated with it, just due to the fact that this is another example of a Cathie Woods fund, and it's taking on some of the hype. We saw that with 3D printing, we saw that with space, and I think that this is just additional money being brought in because it can, and if you start to see a reverse, it's a lot easier to draw that money out. This is not something new, and I do want to highlight that. In fact, we can go over to Vanguard, and you can see here on the Vanguard website on their ESGV fund that they actually do the exact same thing. It's looking to track US traded stocks, which I imagine the other fund will as well. The expense ratio here is only 12 basis points or 0.12%. And they have right now a 4 in terms of the more risk, more reward. But we haven't really seen historically a huge difference in companies that are quote-unquote ESG versus companies that are not. If you take in gambling stocks over the course of the past year, you've seen massive increases compared to the market power. The same can be said even for tobacco, and you've seen also some huge increases in companies such as Boeing, Raytheon, and the like when it comes to weapons companies, and especially gun companies. So there's a lot of these companies that they're saying, hey, we don't invest in that. And I would heavily encourage that if you are investing with your heart, that's the wrong approach to take. And rather, I would prefer to look at ideals if you're looking for short-term trades and ideas. And if you are looking for more of a fundamental approach, look at the money that's coming in and leaving the company and how profitable they are, because profitability is a huge factor in how long companies continue to be around, as well as if they're able to add shareholder value by the way of dividends amongst other programs such as share buybacks. So just to showcase whatever that fund comes out, I would heavily compare it to this Vanguard fund right here, which is probably going to have a significantly lower expense ratio because they are more of a passive investment, as well as I would look at some of the similarities between those companies. So that is going to be kind of the news I have for you today. What I'll be looking for is some of the relationships between how that portfolio performs, as well as some of the companies in this group here as well. So we're going to be looking at those two and matching it up, and I'll continue to track that information here. Feel free to check back. And if you find this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe, as it immensely helps the channel to grow. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below or join the Discord in the description. Thanks. Talk to you later.